So we've decided that this notion of 100% absolute consensus on any issue is not a way that the National Cabinet can indeed work. And so what we will do is we will set out areas where we can come together and get as many states and territories as possible to come around that agreement. Not everyone has to get on the bus for the bus to leave the station, but it is important the bus leaves the station, and we all agree on that. We all agree on that. Even when on occasion some might not want to get on, they know we need to keep moving forward, and that is supported, and that's what we agreed to do today. And I think that is a change in the way our federation works. So we agreed today, 7 out of 8 states and territories. We agreed that before you know what you're going to do, you've got to agree about where you want to get to. And we agreed today with the objective that was set out in the May plan to be at the end of that Step 3 process, which we will seek to ensure is even better defined. We said before we wanted to get there in July, and the virus prevented us from achieving that. 7 out of 8 states and territories want us to get back to that position in December of this year. And I thank them for that commitment. And that having that ambition is not enough, and that aspiration, that we will now fashion a revised plan, just like I outlined the last one, to get us there over these months that are ahead. And the componentry of that plan, there's things that need to go into it, not its final form, but the key areas of actions that need to take place. They will be brought up through both the AHPPC, the medical expert panel on the health measures that are necessary, and what's called the National Coordinating Mechanism, which is on the economic side of the things that need to be achieved. What's different about this plan from the last one is it just isn't about how many people you can have in a cafe, as important as that is. It's about how the testing regimes have to work, the availability of passenger manifests for people moving around the country, the sort of surveillance testing arrangements, which can be, frankly, through the testing of sewage, or more broadly, the specific testing arrangements and the sort of ratios you need to hit to ensure that you can have a confidence about the level of outbreak if it were occurred in any place. In all of these areas, there's a necessity to put the protections in place so as we open up, that we can be confident and states can look at each other and be more confident about how people can move between the various jurisdictions. It means that we need to have a good understanding and an open data room between states and territories to know what the incidence of outbreaks are or case numbers are and the source of those things, so states can make decisions in confidence as part of a plan. We agreed that moving to the hotspot model as a concept is what must be in that plan. This precise definition of that hotspot, well, the national definition, which the Acting Chief Medical Officer, Professor Kelly, has provided, is a good starting point, but it's not the final. It's not the final point. And there'll be further discussion on how that can be more specifically defined. And this will take some time to get that right. But the idea of ultimately moving beyond a situation where you have hard borders, but you move to a situation where you can have a workable hotspot concept, then that is something we're going to give it our best possible go to define and to make work. States, of course, will reserve ultimately the decisions they take, but all of those who have committed to this path have agreed that we should work hard to get that in its best possible form. The protections, the response capabilities, all of which forms the plan. State bilateral and multilateral arrangements will also form part of this plan. And I think that reflects the very different issues that you have, particularly when you're seeking to transition out of border arrangements we currently have. As you know, the New South Wales and Victorian premiers are very keen to get their border down as soon as it's safe to do so. And so bilateral arrangements, which would become a trilateral arrangement, I welcome the participation of South Australia in joining in that same way to ensure that those issues around the Victorian border with their neighbouring states in New South Wales and South Australia will join that process with New South Wales and Victoria, which the Commonwealth is also a part of. But whatever that bilateral or multilateral arrangement might be to deal with specific issues in different parts of the country, that forms part of the plan. Tasmania, I note, in particular, already has a goal of having its border down in December as well. And I welcome their commitment to that, as I do all the states and territories who've committed to this today. Now, Western Australia has set out some very specific circumstances in their state as to why they won't be joining that aspiration at this time. That said, they wish us well, and they will participate in that process where they've got things they believe that they can offer, and I believe there are many things they can offer in that process. So they are not standing completely separate for that process. They will continue to work with us. But for them, they have got their path set, and we respect that.